Greetings, Vault Hunters all across the 6 galaxies. Welcome to the Bordercast. We are live at our usual time, Tuesdays at 4 p.m. Eastern, 1 p.m. Pacific. I'm Mitsu.
And I'm Tessishka, coming to you every week to break down all things Borderlands.
We're making it rain! We did it! It's great! But we're making it rain all the way until the 10th. Why? Well, we'll tell you. Not that it's really too hard to guess, honestly.
So excited, so excited. But before that, we have some buffs, we have some hot fixes. The Hellwalker got buffed. It's almost like launch day all over again. So cool.
Oh my God, can you believe it? Oh, we'll get to that in a minute when we get to hot fixes applied. But first, as always, we want to take a minute to thank all of our new listeners on iTunes, Spotify, and Stitcher, and those watching live right now on Twitch, YouTube, Facebook, and Steam, or later on the VOD on YouTube. And if you are enjoying the program, we would love for you guys to make us a big ol' like, follow, or favorite. That's it. I'm just going to be silent right here. I'm tired of writing things where I have to come up with an idea of how to be funny and witty.
But you sort of naturally are.
Okay, fine. That's fair. All right. In a very special edition, I have a ton of chats open. So yes, hello Twitch, hello YouTube, hello Facebook. I am going to be watching all of you today because we are going to have a very open-ended forum on 2 topics. This is a tease for later on in the program that I would very much like to talk about with the community today. Modified Mayhem, where we're going to talk about what the community generally feels like about Mayhem modifiers right now and whether or not they should stay, they should go, or they should be modified in their current form. And the special relationship between Randy Pitchford and his love of PAX, so Gearbox's relationship with PAX, and what they might be announcing, what we would like to see, what you would like to see this Saturday during PAX Online's Gearbox Forum. It'll be a lot of fun. So I will be watching that. Yeah. But we'll talk about that a little bit more later. Tess, what happens in less than 36 hours?
A certain Psycho Krieg and maybe some characters we love and know happen to be in something called the Fantastic Fustercluck. It's happening in 2 days. Just 2 days, you guys. I cannot believe it's already here. I'm so happy. It's so funny because I feel like it was just announced and we were so hyped and we're like, I can't wait. I can't wait. I want it to be here already. And now it's here already, basically. 2 more days. And the fun begins, the epic, epic fun. I'm excited. I'm going to be rocking my Maya cosplay day 1, Thursday, 2 days from now. Very, very psyched for that. And also probably for the episode of the Bordercast that we do on the following Tuesday. Did you tell them about the special episode we're doing this Saturday?
I did. I've been talking about it during my streams on the official channel, but I guess we should talk about it again real quick. We're doing a special stream on Saturday. Yay! So we are going to be right here on the Borderlands channel. Tess, you're going live when again?
I'm going live at 2 p.m. Eastern, I believe. Yeah,
okay.
2 p.m. Eastern.
So our plan for that day is Tess will be going live at 2 p.m. Eastern. We'll she'll be hanging out, playing Fantastic Krieg. See, I did it right there. Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. She will be playing it here live on the channels for all of you to enjoy. I will be joining her probably about 3:30, I imagine, maybe a little bit earlier so we can get everything out of the way and just kind of give a recap of everything going on. And then we're going to go right into Gearbox's panel at 3:45 Eastern, where we're going to sit here modestly quietly and cover everything Gearbox has to say, especially from their Borderlands section of their panel. It's going to be very exciting.
So excited. I know that like PAX and Gearbox always make for a really good mix. Good things tend to happen. So I'm just very excited for whatever comes.
Yeah, it's going to be great to see. It's nice to also have a sense of normalcy right now. I feel like I'm a little upset because I would be in Seattle. I don't know if you would also, I would hope that you would also join me in Seattle if we were living in a normal world with normal times where we could walk around and then go to Bambino's afterwards and we would be able to sit in the audience and then talk. Oh, I wish with somebody there, but this will have to do for now.
Yeah. Maybe next year. We'll see.
Next year in Jerusalem, as they like to say. Borderlands, the Legendary Collection. It's on Switch. I talked about it a lot when I was traveling to and from Canada. Boy, did that save my life. Get it. If you don't have it, it's wonderful. It is everything you could ever want from Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel. and it is a lot of fun.
Yeah. Also, the making it rain until this Thursday, until the DLC drops. It's a really good kind of event activity or activity boost that's going on right now. More money is dropping in game. I wonder why. Could we possibly be getting some more maybe SDUs? This is pure speculation, but they have come with every DLC so far, so maybe. I don't know, but I'm guessing we'll have some things to spend that money on. So keep playing, keep prepping. What have you been doing so far this week, Mitsu, to prep? Also, do you know what character you're going to start with? Because I don't know.
Drunken Irishman. Of course. Who else could I choose? Of course. Like it's nothing against all the other characters. I really like playing Flak lately. That's what I was doing this past week, is gearing my Flak up. Yes, I was basically just grinding out Grave Ward, and we were talking about what we want to do with the Borderlands channel, kind of our vision for what we want to do, bringing this forward, and all the cool programming ideas that we have, all the cool people we want to bring on as creators and content creators on the team. And while I was talking about all of these different things, we just were grinding out Grave Ward, because the things that I wanted a Hellwalker, I wanted class mods, I wanted this, I wanted that. And you can go to Road Dog and farm a Hellwalker. You can go to farm specifically a class mod if you want to. There's plenty of different places to go do these things. But when you're live and streaming, sometimes you want to turn your brain off, shoot the giant thing in front of you, and pay more attention to chat, who has lots of compelling conversations and questions to ask.
Fair point.
Just like we're doing today later on in the show.
Yeah.
So I spend a lot of time doing that. I did not, unfortunately, get a Hellwalker that had an anointment that would have benefited my damage, but I did have a lot of fun doing it along the way. And again, during Hotfixes Applied, we're going to talk a little bit more about the Hellwalker and why it's the dumbest gun in the game now.
You mean
in a good way?
Best.
In my world, sometimes one and the same.
Fair. So there are no more events currently announced, but Psycho Krieg is coming out so soon, so who cares? BL2 DLC 5. Yes, Borderlands 2 DLC 5 is free on the Epic Store if you have Borderlands 2 or the Handsome Jack Collection until October 2nd. So that's actually a really important point. A lot of people have come into my stream over the last several months and asked why that 5th DLC that came out in the 7th year of Borderlands 2 before Borderlands 3 came out to kind of tie things together was not available on the Epic Store. It finally is. Go there, grab it, play it if you own the base game or you have the Handsome Jack Collection until October 2nd. So you have all the rest of this month to do it. Definitely make sure you do it because it's an awesome DLC. It's fantastic that they added a DLC 7 years after they launched the game. And it's really, really great quality and really does tie into the story and all the good stuff. So do it. Trust me. You'll love it.
That was Max, wasn't it? That Max was director on that.
Yeah, I think so. So. You're right.
Yeah, Max Babin, who we interviewed a few weeks ago right here on the channel. He is the one who directed DLC 1, DLC 2, and now DLC 4, which is coming out in less than 36 hours. So but he also directed DLC 5 for Borderlands 2, otherwise known as Commander Lilith and the Fight for Sanctuary, which if you did not get a chance to play it yet and you do have it on Epic and can get it for free, do so, play it, and then that'll help fill some of the gaps in between DLC 4, which is Bunkers and Badasses, or Tiny Tina's Assault on Dragon's Keep, as we'd like to call it, and Borderlands 3 itself. So, if you like lore, it's got tons of it.
So much good stuff, and Borderlands lore is a lot of fun. I want to dive deeper into the lore of Borderlands in general because it's just there's so much interesting stuff and so many interesting tidbits, and this whole idea of going into the mind of Krieg and Valhalla and all of these things are so interesting to me. Like, hello lore, I'm so excited.
I right before we went live, I was actually getting into it with Borderlands lore with somebody on Twitter.
Ooh, interesting.
Like 10 minutes, but you're not gonna like it though. It's our eternal war. Is Ava partially responsible for Maya's death? That eye roll right there. That's what makes it all worth it. I'm not starting that discussion. We're not talking about that right now.
No.
I don't want to bring that up again until we have somebody from the writing team on the program. And then we can get into it with that particular person, whoever it is, because we have tons of questions and we would love to hear some of the answers.
Fair, true.
But that's for another day. That's for another other day.
Oh, man. So, yeah, we have some hotfixes. Should we talk about those?
Yeah, absolutely. In a little segment that we like to call Hotfixes Applied. All right. This week, there wasn't a lot in terms of hotfixes, but one change in particular seems to be, how can I put this? A change that people have been waiting for since perhaps 3 weeks into this game. The Hellwalker has increased weapon damage. And I think the percentage lazy data mathed out on Twitter was somewhere around 384% of a damage increase.
Wow.
Yes.
That's impressive. That's awesome. That makes me want to go and use that gun again. I'm actually super excited for the next part of the hotfixes, the weapon adjustments, the Chaos, which is an SMG that you get from Captain Trunt, the lovely, wonderful Onathenas. That is a gun that a lot of us farmed for so long, and it was amazing. And then they kind of sort of bumped it down just a little bit, and we were sad. It was still really good, but it wasn't as like amazing anymore. And so I'm actually really curious to pull out some of my chaoses and see how they are, maybe get some new ones. That might be cool. That might be cool because I love SMGs so much. So
really,
much.
the Siren player loves SMGs? Who could have foreseen such a thing? So yes, the Cows got one, and Breath of the Dying got a buff too. But it doesn't seem like it was substantial enough. I have heard very little chatter about the Breath of the Dying right now, and I think that's just because nobody can utilize it yet, or it's either one or two of these. Either nobody can utilize it yet, or the buffs didn't go far enough. But looking at this, increased DPS and orb projectile damage, increased orb collision radius to increase the chance of it hitting, and increased orb damage. It almost sounds like they buffed it like they did the Lob when that got a huge buff. Remember that day?
Yes, and I just realized, because chat is amazing, that I am confusing guns. The Chaos, not the KSN. So the Chaos is an assault rifle, which I also love because they're kind of like SMGs that you can shoot from a little bit further away. So also very, very, very exciting. I don't know what that drops from, though. Maybe chat can tell me because I don't remember off the top of my head. Thank you for pointing that out. I am wrong.
Yeah. They are... Chat will always stay on top of you and get you correct, which is why I'm, again, looking forward to later today. But the Hellwalker is one of the guns that I managed to farm up pretty quickly when I was playing through on Flak and talking about what I did this past week. And even without a properly optimized build, talking with Moxie and having him look through my build and be like, all right, we should put points here. We should put points here. Take this augment, do this, and you will be good to go.
Nice. Yeah, his builds are fun because they're so like intricate in terms of needing the right items. Like you need a set of items to kind of mix and match elemental damage types and stuff like that. Killer6 in chat, in the Twitch chat, actually just pointed out also that the Breath of the Dying and the Chaos can one-shot the post-mortem death.
Oh,
dudes.
death?
Yeah, which is really,
death,
really nice. Really nice. Thank you, K6, for that awesome tidbit, because that's super helpful. I hate those things. I use postmortem as a hard modifier a lot because, like, if I'm doing enough damage, I can nix them quickly enough that they don't end up taking me down. But they're definitely like an extra enemy that's really tanky if you don't have a gun that can really just kind of melt them pretty quickly. So those are two of your new options: Breath of the Dying and the Chaos. Assault rifle. Not the KSN.
Assault rifle, not the SMG. Which, I mean, so it's the Chaos, right? And it's named after Grant Cow because he's one of the weapons designers on the game, right? So the Cowson is supposed to be his son, and it amuses me now because when you're thinking about it in that context, what is a submachine gun? It's the son of an assault rifle.
Yeah.
It's like a mini assault. That was clever. I like that. That's very good. Very, very good. I don't even know if he actually meant it that way. I think he just named it after his son, but
yeah. But it's pretty great. I mean, it makes sense
Yes.
from all angles.
Yes. But the Hellwalker that I was using, once I learned how to properly rotate through fadeaway and how action skill ending anointments work, that's when I really started to kind of get in this groove of, okay, I need to be constantly cycling through that. Okay, I need to be constantly shooting. I need to keep certain stacks up. I need to do this. I need to do that. And the end result is I don't think I've killed Grave Ward as fast as I ever have on Zane. And that's probably just because I don't have my Zane optimized either right now. But I just, what is it? I can one phase him. That's so cool to me that I can one phase Grave Ward.
Nice.
On Mayhem 10. On Mayhem 10.
That's really nice. That's really, really nice. Yeah, that's such a good feeling. There are so many like hard things that you originally have a really hard time with in this game that I feel like once you continue to be improving and you continue to build and you continue to kind of tweak your build and eventually you can one shot or two shot these things or one phase or two phase these things, it's like, oh my God, I have ascended. It's a fantastic feeling.
Yes. So there's so much to come. Unfortunately, this is the last round of events, but fortunately, they lead directly into Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Clustercluck.
Only 2 more days, you guys. I'm way too excited.
Yeah, I look forward to it immensely, and that kind of goes back again into what we were talking about with Make It Rain. So I noticed in the IGN footage that
which we do have.
Do you want to cue it up for everybody? We can put it on real quick. Absolutely.
Yeah, why not?
Hey there, my name is Connor Thomas Cleary, and I was the lead writer on Borderlands 3's DLC 4, Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Clustercluck, which launches on September 10th. And as much as I personally love the name, I'm just as surprised as you that it got approved. Today, we're revealing the very first gameplay footage from the new DLC, which sends you into the twisted mental psychoscape inside the mind of Krieg, the Crimson Raiders' resident psycho. For returning fans of Borderlands 2, we've heard your calls loud and clear. You wanted more Krieg, and that's what we aim to deliver. For newcomers to the franchise who may not be aware, Krieg was a playable character in Borderlands 2, a psycho with some serious internal conflict between his psycho self and his sane self. And that very conflict is on full display in this DLC. DLC 4 was a collaboration between Gearbox Studio Frisco and Gearbox Studio Quebec, who also did great work on DLC 1, Moxie's Heist of the Handsome Jackpot, and DLC 2, Guns, Love, and Tentacles, The Marriage of Wainwright and Hammerlock. We love working with those folks, so I just had to give them a quick shout out. In Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Clustercluck, Tanis asks for your help in discovering the origin of the Pandoran psychosis. She has a theory that there is a single thought which breaks any mind that tries to contain it. She calls it Valhalla.
Those doors, they swallowed me whole. Once I was inside, I knew I'd never come out.
But in order to access Valhalla, you must first travel through a series of warped memories encompassing Krieg's past and present while helping to resolve his internal trauma and determine his future. First, you'll travel to the memory of the Siege of Castle Crimson. You'll embark on a journey through a mayhem-fueled meatscape of blood and bone and sentient eyeballs, because why not? It's a twisted representation of a mission from Lilith to assault a COV stronghold, and you may even encounter some familiar faces along the way.
I remember now. We used the COV's own weapons against them to breach the fortress gate.
Then, you'll find yourself in the past as you fight your way through Sapphire's Run, a dreamlike landscape where you must avoid a constant barrage of attacks from the evil train known as Locomobius. Yes, I just said evil train, you're in a psycho's brain, what did you expect? Now, Locomobius has stolen the memories of someone very precious to Krieg, and you have to help recover them before they're lost forever.
If not for our memories, what are we? Gray matter and neurons and viscera. Oh, and don't forget all that water.
Finally, you'll embark on a journey into Krieg's traumatic origin story in the Benediction of Pain. You'll finally get a glimpse into what made Krieg the man he is. Made him the men he is? Anyway, you'll delve deep into Krieg's fractured psyche and learn more about his dreadful experimentation at the hands of Hyperion scientists. What lies beyond these memories remains to be seen, but you can see it for yourself when you join us on this journey to discover the truth of Valhalla.
So that was awesome.
Yes, it was.
Oh my God. I know it's only 2 days away, but I just wish we had it already. I can't wait any longer. Can it please be Thursday already? Can I just go to sleep immediately after Bordercast. I can't because I'm streaming actually not long after Bordercast, but after my stream, if I could just go to sleep and wake up and have it be Thursday, I would miss out on the really awesome One Life with DePriesticles and Tweety tomorrow at 4. So that I definitely don't want to miss. But if I could just squeeze that in and have no other time happen and just have the DLC, that would be amazing.
Are the three of you doing a?
Yeah, we're doing
One Life
a
together?
One Life co-op run with me and Tweety and DePriesticles basically every Wednesday when they can make it, which has been so fun. I'm using my Moe's, a baby Moe's. It's one of a few. So my One Life Amara that I've been doing on Mondays and Tuesdays, that one is still alive. That's what I'll be working on tonight. Amazingly, because it's my first One Life that I've ever actually done. And I started with a DLC and I'm somehow still alive. And it's very, very confusing. It's hard, but it's awesome. And I love it. But the One Lives, the co-op One Lives with Tweety and DePriesticles are something else entirely. And they're so fun. We have died a few times. Because basically, if one of us dies, then all of us restart. That's the rule, right? And
Wow.
yeah, so we got to keep each other alive, which is like a whole thing. Sometimes a certain DePriesticles might be running headlong off of a cliff and Tweety might go, no, don't run off of the cliff. And he might do it anyway and cause all of our collective deaths. And it's hilarious. And it was a good time. It's a good time. That actually happened. It was glorious.
I need to see a video of that at some point.
Hi, DePriesticles.
Way to just throw him under the bus.
I'm sorry, but it did happen.
Wow.
He's in chat, and you guys should go into his channel and rib him about this because it'll be funny. DePriesticles, that's DePriesticles. Make sure you check him out. And also Tweety Expert, TWEETY Expert. Make sure you check them both out because they're amazing.
Yes. About that footage that we were just watching, one of the most important things is there was in the lower right-hand corner ammo. And one of the things that I think a lot of people have been noticing is that, for example, submachine guns, they capped out at about 1,800 rounds. People were seeing, including myself, that it looks like now they cap out at about 2,000. So the leading theory, of course, is that there will be SDU upgrades, which we kind of hinted at and suggested. We still don't know for sure, but I don't think that that's something they left in there by accident. They wanted eagle-eyed people to just like notice it. Yes.
Excited. Save your pennies. Save your wonderful in-game, stacks of monies.
Yes.
Yeah. Pretty good. So
I really like the
excited.
locations in that the video too. I didn't expect. I enjoyed. There's a dancing loader for some reason. I don't know what that's about. And then it looks like you go into an old Hyperion base because it has the yellow walls on it, and it looks very like Hyperion futuristic, very slick, very angular. So I'm fascinated in where we're going and how disjointed these memories seem to be, and how we're going to have to navigate all of these environments. I can't wait. Yeah, less than 36 hours. It's going to be a good time.
I just want to see Maya. Give me Maya, please. Oh my God.
There was no Maya in any of that gameplay footage, was there?
No, but what was the area called where the locomotion train, Locomobius, the crazy train of doom or something. I'm probably calling it by the wrong name, but it's a really, really, really crazy train that literally like drove across the sky, kind of, in the video. And the location where he was, they were talking about somebody very special to Krieg losing her memories. Maybe, I don't know. It did look kind of purpley and beautiful, kind of like Athena's at night. So I don't want to assume anything, but I can speculate.
You're going to go on a romantic walk in a moonlit night during Athena's, and it's going to be so beautiful.
I'm
She
so
dies.
excited. Oh God.
She dies, you know that, right? She's dead.
Yeah. Hey now. Tannis says that we can take stuff out, right? The loot.
Mhm.
So who knows? I mean, okay, pure speculation. But if we can take out guns, maybe we can take out a person. Maybe?
I said it last week. There is a precedent set for this when we reconstruct an entire person's body, and that's very early on in Borderlands 3, using just her brain, which is in a jar, and the brain is still there. So now there's 2 copies of the same person in existence in the Borderlands universe. And we pulled that literally out of her brain. That's in a jar.
I mean,
Maybe.
anything is possible in Borderlands. So I am trying very hard to not get my like hopes up, but I kind of have my hopes up a little bit. I gotta be honest.
It's the 4th DLC. I talked about this earlier on the channel when I was streaming earlier today. There is a precedent set that the 4th DLC in particular is going to be something that moves all of our characters and the story in general forward. It happened with the Claptrap Revolution. It happened with Tiny Tina's assault on Dragon Keep. I can't see it not happening at this point with Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. So the heartfelt moments, the actual character development, things happening to our characters and the characters we love, this is the time. So this is what I am genuinely actually looking forward to. So, and I guess that kind of, well, we can, let's just jump around a little bit there. You know what? It brings up a good point. So, you know, we have DLC 4. Mm-hmm. We have DLC 4. We know the basics of it. What I've noticed we haven't had for some time, and at first Gearbox was really good at doing this, was a roadmap. And I know we live in a COVID world, so roadmaps are something that really isn't feasible in contemporary game development. Everybody's working from home. Deadlines are different. People are hurting. Everything gets moved around. Absolutely fine. But it's still stuck out in my mind as something that we haven't had. So on Saturday, a mere 2 days after the DLC launches, we're going to have this big conference, or I don't know, I think it's an hour long, hour and 15 minutes, something like that. Yeah, an hour and 15 minutes of Gearbox at PAX Online. Free, anybody can watch it. We're going to be co-streaming it and hosting it live here. Not hosting that, but hosting it on the channels.
Yeah, co-streaming, so we'll be watching along with you guys.
Chatting
with you guys while we watch.
Thank you. Because I'm going to get in trouble because somebody's like, wait, they're hosting the show? I wish. Maybe one day.
Yeah.
Yes. But for today, we're going to be here, safe in our chairs, talking about what's on the screen. The beautiful things we get to see.
Yeah, it'll be a watch along, like Zeta said.
Yes. Yeah, that's a good way of putting it. Hashtag watch along. Mm-hmm. So my question, and Tess and I are going to pose basically this open question to all of you on what your hopes and dreams, what you would very much like to see come out of this conference. Obviously, Gearbox has a lot of games on their side that they want to talk about, but the anchor will always be Borderlands, because that's what we are here for, and that is what we love. So I want to see, and I'm looking at 3 chats now. So don't tell me, Camille, over on YouTube that I don't read chat, because I'm looking at it right now. And Facebook, I see you guys, and Twitch, whatever. I see you guys all the time. Shut up. I want to see what you want. I want to hear what the conversation is. Tess, is any of them jumping out at you right now?
People want no modifiers, fewer modifiers, more bank slots, 1,000 bank slots. That'd be cool. I don't disagree on that one. Raid bosses and also more raid bosses, please. How about some more raid bosses? Okay, more takedowns. Definitely, I have to agree with that one. That sounds absolutely awesome. No more dustpans. Thank you very much, Killer 6.
if we can, I want to break down a few of these. More takedowns. Okay, so that would be part of a roadmap. I was actually surprised because I was hoping that there would be 3 takedowns, 1 for each DLC. We did not get that, but we got 2, and I like the 2 that we got, even though 1 came with a lot more controversy than the other one. But that seems to have kind of been ironed out these days. So I would like to see another takedown at least on it. I like that one. Bane Falcon on the Twitch chat. Greater Rift modular difficulty.
Yeah.
That is a brilliant way and a succinct way of saying the ability for you to roll your individual mods for each difficulty level.
Yeah.
Which I would like to see.
More expansions on the timed proving grounds. Interesting. Yeah. People mentioned also things like Slaughter Shaft and Proving Grounds in the DLC worlds and locations. So more stuff having to do with the DLC would be cool. Absolutely, I agree. Modifiers being able to be chosen by viewers without having to re-roll forever. Definitely agree with that one. As a midway point between taking them away completely and where we're at right now with them being random and re-rollable, being able to choose your modifiers, I think, would definitely help people to kind of be happier with the state of Mayhem. I don't think people are super unhappy or anything. I just think the modifiers are the kind of the sticking point for a lot of people right now. Everything else about Mayhem is awesome. It's just the modifiers are still... I think a lot of the community really enjoyed the Mayhem Made Mild event because it was modifiers that were fun and silly and great. And, you know, that it was kind of like playing neutral, not quite like playing neutral, but pretty close to neutral. And definitely being able to choose your own modifiers would be nice. I agree.
A lot of players on the Facebook chat right now, and I agree with this one wholeheartedly, and we'll talk about it for a few seconds as well, are suggesting right now crossplay.
I would love to see that.
It is a bear. It is that I can't imagine what it takes to actually do crossplay. And I remember specifically very early on, I think it was on one of the first roadmaps, they mentioned a farther off goal, and I think Randy specifically said it, was crossplay.
Yeah, Randy
And then we
tweeted
heard
out
nothing about it afterwards.
Yeah, Randy tweeted out that they were committed to. I think I'm paraphrasing a little bit, but I'm pretty sure it's almost word for word. He said they were committed to making crossplay happen at some point in the future.
Yes.
They never committed to a time or even like a when at all because it was impossible back then, and this was before the pandemic. You know, to commit to a time like that's something that they obviously want to do, but it only exists on a few sort of games out there right now. It does exist, it is doable, but it's hard to do, you know, and I think that there's probably more to it besides just the technical hurdles in terms of working things out between all of the console makers and everybody involved from like a industry standpoint. I'm sure that it's more complicated than we realize. It's definitely, I'm sure, more complicated than I realize. I know just enough to know that I definitely don't know everything or even close to it. So I hope they're working on it. I don't really know, like, if we can expect to hear more about that. I have no idea, but I hope that it's a thing that's still in the works and that we'll see it someday. That would be amazing if it happened. Definitely.
I see over on YouTube Ethereal with definitely one that's near and dear to my heart, and I imagine it'll be one for yours too. More lore focused answers.
Yeah.
I would like to see them announce something else to come out down the line. Maybe it's a new game. Maybe it is a new set of DLCs. I'd like to, you know, obviously I want more content. So if there was a second season pass, I'd like to see that. Something where we get more in-depth conversations and like answers to what we have these burning questions about. Because Borderlands 3 left us with far more questions than answers and a couple angry statements that we really didn't care for. So that's and again that goes into Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck. That's kind of a chance to tie everything into a nice neat bow.
Yeah.
And then if you do a second season, that's when you blow up the package again, and then you've got to piece everything back together just in time for either a third season or, if we look further down the line, a fingers crossed Borderlands 4.
Yeah, there's two things that are really important in chat that were brought up. Triple G, who's another one of our awesome content creators, triple_G, he brought up that the movie will probably significantly add to the lore and possibly answer some of those burning questions. So
Yes.
that's a really good point. That might happen. I still would like to see more in-game stuff, lore-wise, but definitely the movie, I'm very excited about it. There's no timetable right now, I think, but they've chosen the director, they've chosen who will play Lilith. The Mitsu, please, because my brain is blanking.
Oh, Kate Blanchett.
Thank you. Yeah, she's amazing, and she's going to be amazing in it, I'm sure. So I'm very excited to hear more about the movie and for it to eventually be here. And another point that someone made that I totally have lost in my head right now, but it was a really good point. So let me find it. You mean?
Some were suggesting in the interim. Some were suggesting bring back Steve. Oh. They really should actually bring
That
back
would
Steve,
be
by the way.
cool. Oh, Bane Falcon in the Twitch chat says, give console players the ability to make a fresh max level character after they're at max level. So I honestly feel like this would be a really nice thing for both console and PC, and it would probably be easier for them to just make happen. Although, like, to do something different for console than PC, it's like, why not give it to everybody, right? I'm the type to go to my favorite YouTubers, members of the team, people that have just tweeted at me or come into my chat when I'm streaming, either on the Borderlands channel or my channel, and said, "Hey, Tess, try out a build." All of our teammates and content creators that have given me builds, I loved getting to try them out because they're definitely builds that I wouldn't necessarily make myself or have the time to make myself. And I get to play with these really cool characters. They're max level. They have all of these awesome items, and I get to try them out and see what they feel like to play. And it's a different, awesome experience every time. I've actually learned a ton more about the game that way. I've been playing all of the Ultimate Vault Hunter builds, and I really love that we as PC players can kind of trade save files this way because it gives us the opportunity to try so many things, Whereas with the console players, they really have to start from scratch with a brand new character, play all the way through to 60, and then farm for every single thing if they just even want to try a character to see if they would like it, or a build to see if they would like it, which is kind of unfair a little bit. I mean, I don't know if that's something that they could do in terms of limitations of the platform, but who knows? I would love to see that happen for console players and PC players too, because sometimes people just want to, try. Like, I've never played a Moze. Maybe I would have just started one at 60 and like messed around with her and then played through the game with her, but at 60, so I can really get a feel for her at max power. That would have been cool. So I definitely get that. I get that desire. Psychotic Wolf also mentioned a search or filtering system for bank and friends list and stuff like that, because some of our friends lists have definitely gotten a little bit out of hand. Somebody
suggested out of the bank allowing you to sell directly from the bank.
That would be amazing. Oh my God. Yes,
incredible
please.
Suggestion.
Yeah, please. Because having to fill up your backpack and run back and forth between the two places is definitely, and like, how many of us still have a whole bunch of things in the bank that are level 60 right now, or level 57, or level 53, or level 50, like I do, because I just haven't done it because I hate inventory management. So I want more bank space, but I also want, like, especially imagine if we were to get 1,000 spaces. Not that I know that we're going to get that or not. I have no idea. But, however many, like right now we have how many spaces? 500, 300?
I should know this. I was literally looking at 500.
500.
I was literally looking at my bank earlier. If I get that wrong, then I'm just the dumbest human ever.
Yeah. 500 spaces is how many trips back and forth, it's a lot, and it would be really nice if we could sell directly from the bank. That would be awesome. I agree. It's 400. Okay.
400. Okay. See, well, I'm the dumbest human alive. It happens.
No. There's a lot of numbers floating around. It's easy to forget. I forgot. So yeah.
Just right away. But I also appreciate how we inadvertently started a discussion about the movie, which we haven't talked about. There hasn't really been a lot of news on the movie front, but I always enjoy seeing what people want to see in the movie, especially acting wise, because of course everybody says, "Oh, well, who should play Typhon DeLeon but Danny DeVito," for example. I honestly couldn't think of anybody else who would be more qualified to be Typhon DeLeon than Danny DeVito, but this is just one example. You see what the deal is.
Yeah. I'm so excited for the movie. Whoever is in it, like, I have faith in them to make something amazing, because they make amazing video games and amazing DLCs for them, and story wise and world building wise, especially. It's one of my favorite sort of bits of content out there. And I think this world has so much depth and lore and potential for more really cool stories to come out of it. I just want to see more of that. I wish there was like a new Tales game. I love that they're doing a movie. Who knows what else they might do? I definitely think that there is so much more to the Borderlands and to the various characters in the Borderlands that we maybe haven't even met yet. And I'm excited to, get to know them at some point, I hope.
And Ethereal mentioning this again, I think we talked about it last week. An idea for a new game. Did I tell you about this? I think I never told you about this. Okay,
so.
I have been promoting this everywhere, and I'm going to say it now, and we're going to put it out into ether. And one day, Gearbox is going to make a shit zillion dollars off of this, and I'm going to want $3.50 of that money. Ready? Typhon de Leon, action adventure game where he uses the whip for platforming.
Oh, you did mention this at one point.
Yes.
Yeah, and it's genius.
And it's him narrating each level to a young Troy and Tyreen.
Can we just leave out the Troy and Tyreen because I hate them and go with Typhon? I'd totally be cool with that. Maybe Typhon and Lita hang out.
Lita can be in it too, but here's something. This is why I don't like Troy and Tyreen, besides the fact that they murdered Maya, and that makes me really sad. Troy and Tyreen, on a meta perspective, had no depth to them. Handsome Jack had depth. He had complexity. He was a three-dimensional character. That's why we loved him, and that's why we hated him. Troy and Tyreen were just evil for the sake of being evil. Their entire motivation was, we want power for power's sake. That's dull.
And they were way more annoying teenagers than Ava ever could be. So
yes, but as children, as little children, Typhon can be telling these stories to his children, and that gives context to what they were growing up. It gives a much needed and enjoyable backstory to them. You can still hate them. You can still hate them for what they did. I'm never going to take that away from you because they killed Maya, and I'm still pissed about that too.
I just feel like them as kids is not going to be any better. I think it'll be just as
at
bad.
least then we know at that time in their lives they were always born to just be evil, and I can accept that. I can accept it if they set it up this way.
We already know that. I just don't want to spend any more time with them. I hate them so much. They're so annoying.
I don't. I think it's more important. They're humans. Jack is a human. He is a flawed individual and a psychopathic murderer, but we still related to him because we knew at one point in Jack's life, he was a loving, caring husband and father who just wanted to make his way in the galaxy, the 6 galaxies, for his family. And at some point, homie went off the rails and just started like killing everybody in his way and went straight Machiavellian evil. And that's okay, but we get that. So what is the defining moment that caused them to go off the rails and pursue a path of just pure power for power's sake?
But
or maybe they were just always that way.
Yeah, there wasn't a defining moment. That's the problem I have with them, right? Nothing bad happened to them. Like Tyreen literally had a whole they basically said in the game when you're doing all of the missions on Necro Tefeo and you're like listening to all of the little tidbits from Typhon and all of that. They basically said literally that she had a whole planet to play on. They both did, right? And she wasn't alone. She had her brother, right? So she had her brother and her dad. She had a whole planet to play on. And maybe her dad was a little overprotective because she was so hungry all the time or whatever. But like, you compare her to Angel, for example, who was literally stuck in a bubble and couldn't interact with humans. And her mom, died because of her power, maybe not through her own fault, but because of her power, at least partially. And her dad used her power and used her for evil, much less overprotected her and kept her from having any friends. And she still was a freaking good guy in the end. Okay. And Tyreen literally was just bored and hungry and decided to go and eat the world because she's an asshole. So like, I just have no sympathy for that at all. And I don't think that anything happened, like nothing happened to them. That was the point. Like nothing actually happened to them to cause them to be like this. They were just spoiled evil brats. Not even spoiled. Like they were spoiled. They were a little bit spoiled, but like they were just bored And so they decided to go and kill everybody because they're horrible. And so they're just like, I don't want to spend any more time with them because they were meant to be hated. And I think Gearbox did a very good job of making us hate them. So I hate them. Please let them fade away into the distant past.
I don't know. I can't. Do you know why? It's Gearbox's writing. It's out of character for them to put forth a character that doesn't have that kind of complexity to them.
That's
and I
true.
think there's more to be told to their stories. Whether or not that makes you like them more or hate them more, that's fine. But I still feel like we didn't spend enough time getting to know them to develop some sort of emotional attachment beyond they're a bunch of spoiled brats who want power for power's sake. I think there's more to that story. And there's more to Typhon's story as a result. Because Typhon, we spent no time with him. Relatively speaking, we spent almost no time with this character that we have been like searching for in our minds anyway, in like headcanon for the past 10, 15 years in terms of actual human relative time in the game. What Vault Hunters have really become a thing in the past 10 years, maybe 7, 8 years. That's really started becoming a profession, if you will, in context. So I definitely want to hear more of his story.
Yeah, I love Typhon. I would
Yeah.
love to get more. Somebody in chat mentioned this also. I would love to get more of Typhon and Leta's like love story and how they got together and them hunting vaults and doing all that stuff. Like I would love more Typhon. Absolutely no question. Because I think Typhon is a wonderful character. He's interesting, right? He was a turd farmer and he became a badass vault hunter and he was amazing. But yeah, I find Tyrene so incredibly annoying. I'm sorry, Triple, but I just find her like way more annoying than Ava ever could possibly be. And I just don't want to hear her voice ever again.
I'm gonna do a thing. You ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna have my finger on the car crash button, and I apologize for doing this, but I gotta do it. He's a turd farmer who procreated 2 little turds.
Okay, fair.
And now all 3 chats hate me.
Yeah.
All right, there we go. I'm done. So there's a lot to look forward to. There's a lot of things out there that are reasonable expectations. There are some things out there that are just they're never going to happen, and that's unfortunate. But that it is what it is, and we'll have to see what they bring forward to us on Saturday, which we will be covering right here on the Borderlands channel you'll be live at 2 p.m. Eastern, which I believe that's 11 a.m. Pacific.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes, time zones. I got this. I
They're
swear.
hard.
Yeah, extremely.
I need like a big monitor-sized watch somewhere in my apartment for like all 3 places.
I want to put a map like here on this wall so I can see all the time zones forever and be like, all right, it's this time in Tokyo. It's this time in England.
Yeah.
Give everybody a proper time. This time in Russia. Which part of Russia? Well, all right, let's go through every different part of Russia. We'll get there.
There's a few.
That's like how many time zones is Russia? Like 12?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure. A lot.
It's
I want to say it's like 7 maybe, but I
still a lot.
don't know. Yeah, it's a
Still
ton.
a lot. Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of debates raging, we just had one right there. We'll tie things up in a nice, neat bow and talk about Mayhem for a while. Mayhem is something people originally had problems with Mayhem 1.0. They said they don't like the scaling. Guns don't feel particularly powerful. Doesn't feel rewarding. Gearbox says, okay, let's balance things. They get Mayhem right finely tuned, and then comes Mayhem 2.0 about 2 weeks afterwards. And everything kind of gets thrown up in the air again. Here we are. Everything is finely tuned again. The game feels it's in one of its best places I think it's ever been in. There are so many guns that feel great to use. Shields, we're getting there. Grenades need a little bit more love. But overall, the general gunplay feeling of being in Mayhem, especially at Mayhem 10, feels better than it ever has. One thing that everybody does have a problem with, though, is not everybody, I should say, because I don't, but we'll get there. Mayhem modifiers. And this is a big point of contention. And 11 time zones, by the way. Somebody told me over on YouTube.
Totally
11. That's a lot of time zones. Jesus Christ, Russia, chill. So Mayhem modifiers have been this huge issue. I like them, but I know a lot of people don't. So this is the time for everybody to have their say. Tess, how do you feel about mayhem modifier? Let's open the floor with you.
I mean, I like them. They're like okay. I feel like they make things more interesting, certainly. The problem that I've run into with them is mostly when I'm playing with other people, because it's really hard to kind of find a set of modifiers that helps multiple different characters or doesn't hurt significantly multiple different characters. It's really, really challenging to kind of balance a set of modifiers to a full 4 Vault Hunter team, or even like 2 Amaras and 2 Moses are going to have a hard time because the things that benefit Amara may not benefit Mose and may actually really hurt her, or vice versa, and so you end up having struggles on one teammate versus the other, and it's kind of like it kind of loses some of that awesome cooperation sort of cooperative. Thank you. I can't speak English today, apparently.
I got
the cooperative sort of nature of the cooperative mode of the game, right? Which was a huge positive that came with Borderlands 3 that we didn't really have in Borderlands 2 in previous games, where like then if you wanted to play with your friends and you weren't on the same level or you weren't properly geared, one person would basically be carrying the other one and the other one would be dead a lot of the time, which isn't as fun, right? And then you'd have to fight for inventory and like items and things like that. So loot, and like some people liked that system and that's why it's still in the game, which is fantastic. But the new cooperative mode is amazing. And we got that with Borderlands 3 and it was universally beloved, this mode. I think nobody was unhappy that it existed because the people that loved the old mode still had the old mode, and a ton of people love the new mode. I think it brought a lot more people to the game that couldn't really play before because they'd fall behind their friends because they're busy with work and life and etc. Especially with the pandemic. I think more people are playing video games in general, and this is a wonderful game that brings people together, right? Like, it's so much fun to play with your friends, and I love doing it. I've been doing this super cool co-op thing with Depresicles and Tweety. I'm actually going to be playing the DLC with triple_GZ when he's streaming on the Borderlands channel on Friday. I'll be on my channel, and we'll be doing the DLC together, so I'm excited to do that. I love playing with you guys. Like, it's so super fun to play with friends, and the only problem with it is if we're playing on Mayhem 10 and we're using a set of modifiers that like hurts my Amara and helps the other character, or vice versa, I'm on Mose and Mose is totally fine, but my friend's Amara is like dying and it's sad. It's a problem, and it's like, I think at least being able to choose your modifiers so that you're not working so hard, rolling. I think Lazy Data, to get his perfect modifiers at one point, rolled for like hours. And that just shouldn't be a thing. Like, rolling for modifiers isn't gameplay, in my opinion. It's fun to have some randomness in the game. I initially liked the system because I was like, oh, this is fun and random, but I was playing more solo at the time. So I don't think I quite understood what the significance would be for groups and just people playing with their friends at Mayhem 10, which, a lot of people want to be able to do that, and myself included now. So I feel like some kind of adjustment to where people could at least choose their modifiers or potentially just turn them off entirely, if they so chose, or maybe like turn on one or another one, turn them on or off as needed would be amazing, I think. I don't know how complicated that would be. I don't know if that's something they're even thinking about doing. These are just sort of wishes that maybe hopefully will someday be heard. But I don't know. I mean, I do think that some kind of adjustment needs to be made because I feel like they're better than OP levels in a lot of ways. And the mayhem levels, and even with the modifiers, like I think it's better than OP levels were overall. But that doesn't mean, just because they're better doesn't mean that there's not room for improvement, right? So my wish would be for either an off switch, like I would love an off switch for the screams too, please Gearbox, please. Anyway, or the ability to at least choose your modifiers, I think would make it more fair for the people that want to play with their friends and not sort of have some people be really hurt by the modifiers and others be helped, so it's a more of an even playing field.
And we talked about that a little bit last week, where my idea is, again, reward and, the challenge having to be overcome. If you choose to turn on modifiers, then your drop rates and anointment chances should go up as a result, although they can't go up any higher than they are now because anointments are pretty much guaranteed at, I think it's past Mayhem 8. It's pretty much guaranteed now for all of your weapons and gear to be anointed. But there should be a reward for you keeping a modifier on if they stay in the game beyond what is currently there, even if it's just something as simple as a better drop rate, something that you can live with. You'd be like, all right, well, my drop chance is a little bit lower, but I know I'm cycling through my kills faster, so in my head it balances out, so I don't care. Fine, I'm okay with that. Or you just remove them all together. But it does seem that it's there and it's not there, where people are, it's like the one nagging issue is, are modifiers worth saving at this point? And I feel like it has to be that toggle switch, and the ability to individually roll and like pick and choose what you want to be, because people are doing that anyway at this point. We're what, 5 months in with modifiers now, 6 months in March, so that's the third. So we're 6 months in. 6 months in with the new system, and it's rough.
Yeah,
it's rough.
I mean, I feel like getting rid of them doesn't make sense because they can be fun and they can be beneficial and they can make crazy things happen. But an off switch would be lovely, or the ability to choose them, I think would go a long way. And I don't know which or if either is easier for them to do. From a technical standpoint, I have no idea how feasible all that is. So, if wishes were wings, that would be a wonderful thing if they could give us an off switch or let us choose, or both. Who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
If wishes were horses, we'd all be eating steak. There's going to be 4 people who get that reference, and those 4 people are going to lose their minds. Everybody else is going to think that I actually made that as a serious joke. No, I did not.
Okay. I'm just gonna go with, okay, Mitsu, you do you, friend.
That's okay. Don't worry about it. So Mayhem modifiers feel like they're not quite where they need to be. The sentiment across all the chat seems to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And that is, we either need to be able to individually roll or directly turn them off.
Or both.
And again, if we can directly turn them off, I think there should be some reward for having them on, whatever that reward may be. I don't think it can be something as complicated as a new gun, because then people are going to say, well, I have to have it on now. And that's going to cause like elitism complaints and problems in the general community. Well, I can't do it with this. It's fine.
Yeah.
But higher drop rate chance, I can live with that. I think that's a good middle ground.
I mean, even that, honestly, I feel like if they didn't do that, if they just gave people the ability to turn it on and off just as they wanted, that would be fine. Like it would be better letting people either choose the modifiers and or turn them off with no adjustments to loot would be fine. People might be like, okay, now we want this and we want that and we want that, because people are always going to come up with things they want and want more and more and more and more. And the live team and the people making these adjustments are so awesome that they keep providing us with more and, reacting to kind of the community and doing what we've asked for. So who knows where they can go next and what they can do and what they can, give us to play with. So we'll see. I'm so amazed at how much they've provided us with already, like how many changes they've made based on community feedback, our feedback on the team. It's incredible. So any of these changes, I don't know how technically possible they are. I don't know what decision they're going to make, but they definitely know that these are things that the community is asking for. So we'll see, maybe.
And if it's not something that can be implemented now because of some sort of technical restraint, it's something they will definitely put on a nice little whiteboard somewhere, I would like to think, somewhere in Gearbox HQ, in a post-COVID world, that they will do their damnedest to implement in Borderlands 4. Fingers crossed that actually happens. I'm going to keep saying that because I want it.
In the meantime, we have a really boss DLC coming in 2 days. 2 days. I'm so excited. Oh my God.
2. Psycho Krieg and the Fantastic Fustercluck comes out September 10th. And that is 2 days away. 2 days. Actually, it's more like 30 hours at this point.
Yeah.
We're very quickly approaching 24, and then it's going to really hit. But I think that means it is time to wrap up this program. Tess, where can the people find you?
Right here on the Borderlands channel. I'm actually streaming tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern. So just a couple hours after we end here, I'm just going to get the Bordercast up on the podcast sites, and then I'll be live here for you guys, continuing my One Life Amara, who is now doing slightly more melee than she was when I attempted to melee from the start, because that was going to get me killed. But she's survived somehow so far. My first One Life. I'm very proud. I'm probably gonna die like within the first 5 minutes of today's stream start. Anyway, tonight at 7, and then tomorrow at 4 p.m. Eastern. On Wednesdays regularly at 4 p.m. Eastern, I do also Borderlands gameplay on the Borderlands channel, and I'm playing a co-op One Life right now with Tweety Expert and Depriesticles. So definitely stop by, check out their streams, because they'll also be streaming. We are loving doing that, all three of us. So we'll be doing that. And I'll be streaming on my channel a whole bunch. Thursday, I'm going to do a Maya cosplay. I'm very excited. On twitch.tv/Tessichka. You can find me on Twitter, Tess Games, or Instagram. And yeah, we'll be here Saturday as well. And yeah, just stop by. And Mitsu, how about you?
Before I do my plug, I'm first going to do a quick shout out to all of the wonderful members of the content creation team that were kind enough to invite Tess and I to come be a part of a special social deduction game that several of them streamed on their personal channels this past Saturday. We got to play this wonderful little game where there are imposters and there's backstabbing, and Tweety has a named area on the map now because she is evil and never trust her lies. But a special shout out, of course, to Moxie OG, to Triple G, to Tweety, of course, to your friends, Godicus, Thick Fillet, our wonderful hostess of Ultimate Vault Hunters, 55 Liz, Psychotic Wolf, and of course the Priesticles. We had a wonderful time playing with all of them and learning that they're all devious bastards.
I love murdering my friends in video games. A lot.
Jesus Christ. Oh my God.
It was so good. It was so good.
Yes.
We have to
So
do
that was a lot
again.
of fun. I hope we get to do that again soon to all of them. And of course, as you know, I am twitch.tv/Mitsu, MITSU, and on Twitter at twitter.com/Mitsu Show, MITSU, SHOW. That is it. That's all.
Thank you guys so much for joining us. You are all amazing. Every single one of you in chat. Killer6 and Jolts, thank you so much for stopping by. Mental Mars, Thick Fillet, Triple G, Psychotic Wolf, Mystique Siren. We've got a whole bunch of really amazing content creators. Birdman's in the chat right now. Lots of you guys. Thank you for being here. Please make sure everybody that is listening or watching to check out the creators on the Twitch Borderlands directory. They are amazing, amazing people. It's a really welcoming community. All the people I just named and a ton of others are there every day playing Borderlands, talking to their chats, getting you guys cool stuff. We've got some cool creators that focus on console and some cool creators that focus on PC. BZK is hanging out in the chat. Thank you, you guys, seriously. And thank you to all of the viewers and all of the listeners all across all the platforms. You are amazing, and we appreciate you so much. So please keep stopping by, keep tweeting at us, letting us know if you have questions, if you have comments, stuff like that. We love hearing from you all.
Hollow Gaming, Sun Streamer, I see you too. I see you guys. Don't worry. Trust me. Anyway, on behalf of myself, Tess, the entire content creation team, everybody who works on this wonderful game, both at Gearbox and 2K, we thank you so much for appreciating everything that we do here every single week and joining us in this wonderful conversation that we get to have about our favorite game, or one of them anyway, Borderlands 3. Thank you so much for joining us as you do every single week. Now go forth and make some mayhem.